Hey everyone, it's Brittany. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I wanted to share what is in my everyday makeup drawer. If you watched my organizing my desk video, I showed this clear acrylic organizer that I got from Ulta, and this is actually what I have decided to use to put all of the makeup that I typically reach for on an everyday basis into, so that it's like super accessible and I don't need to go through a ton of different drawers to get what I usually reach for every day. Obviously, my daily makeup does change, especially depending on the season. So I kind of want to do this seasonally. Let me know if that's something that you guys would like to see. So obviously all the stuff in this video is going to be what I typically wear in the spring. So I hope you guys like it. Before I make this intro too long, I wanted to remind you that I'm still giving away the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded eyeshadow palette. This one is mine. You will obviously be getting a new one. I literally almost threw it again. Anyways, if you want to win this, just check out the rules in the description box. It's super easy. I don't want to make this too long. So if you want to see what's in my everyday makeup drawers, then just keep watching. I'm starting with the very top drawer in this acrylic organizer. It is the thinnest drawer and I decided to use it for my eyeshadow palettes. I don't usually go through too many eyeshadow palettes when I do my everyday makeup. I will usually switch between like maybe two. The first one is the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded eyeshadow palette. I decided to put this into my everyday makeup drawers because it is perfect for every day. These colors are so easy to use. They all go together so well, so it's really hard to mess up with an eyeshadow palette like this. The other eyeshadow palette that I love to use in the spring is from Tarte. It's the Tartelette in Bloom eyeshadow palette. These are super neutral. They're almost a little bit on the cool side, so if I want something that is a little bit more cool, then I can reach for this. So together they just make a super versatile bunch of eyeshadows. These are definitely two of my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes, so of course I'm gonna use them every day. The drawer directly below that is my concealer and foundation drawer. I have concealers on one side and foundation on the other. I don't usually like to wear anything too heavy on my skin. The first concealer I want to mention is from RMS Beauty. This is a cream concealer. I like to use my fingers to apply this, and this is usually the one that I reach for if I just want to quickly conceal underneath my eyes, around my nose. It is on the more like natural clean side of beauty products, so there's not a whole lot of bad things in here, so it's something that I do like to use, especially if I just want a little bit of concealer and then like brow gel or something and head out the door. So the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer is one that I love to use around my eyes and to kind of highlight my face. And like it says, it's multi-use, so if you do have a darker color or one that matches your skin tone exactly, you can obviously use it to conceal like redness or blemishes. Another concealer I pretty much only use underneath my eyes is the Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage Anti-Aging Waterproof Concealer. This one has lasted so long because a little bit goes a very long way. This is very high coverage. It's one that I use when I definitely want to really conceal underneath my eyes. It's extremely hydrating, and I just make sure that I need to like set it down with some powder afterwards. My last two concealers are ones that I like to use on redness or blemishes on my face because they are a little bit darker, or I guess exactly matching my skin tone. So the first one is from Milk Makeup. It's the Flex Concealer. I think some people like to use this underneath their eyes, but I just find that I like it better for concealing blemishes. The other one that I have is from 100% Pure. This is the Second Skin Concealer, and I could totally use this underneath my eyes, but I have one that is too dark for me. But if I want to just sheerly tone down any redness or just kind of cover a blemish, I really like to use this one. On the other side is where I keep the rest of my like face products for tinted moisturizers or foundations. I love the Josie Maran Vibrancy Argan Oil Foundation Fluid. It is such a beautiful everyday foundation without feeling too heavy. This one I would recommend using if you have like normal to dry skin. I also mentioned this in my top 5 foundations video that I just did. The Charlotte Tilbury Youth Boosting Perfect Skin Foundation is also another favorite of mine for every day. It gives you a decent amount of coverage. It still feels very natural, and I guess that probably has to do with the actual texture of it because it dries down to like a satin dewy finish, which is one of my favorite finishes for a foundation. I also have the Burt's Bees Goodness Glows Liquid Makeup Foundation in here. I like to mix this in with my tinted moisturizer if I want a little bit more coverage, and I have a bunch of shades of these. I also use it on its own, of course. I like to apply it with my fingers because it helps melt the product into my skin. And if I just want a very sheer coverage during the day, I use the Tarte Amazonian Clay BB Tinted Moisturizer. This also has SPF 20 in it, so it's really great to use every single day if you don't like to use foundation, but you want a little bit of a tint and then also protect your skin. The drawer below that one is where I keep my face powders and my mascaras and brow products. I have 3 face powders that I like to use recently. The first one is from Cover Effects. It's the Perfect Setting Powder. This is one of my all-time favorite setting powders. It is talc-free, so it goes on in a less like powdery form. It feels very creamy and silky, so I really like to use this one underneath my eyes. I also have the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Airbrush Foundation in here. Sometimes I will just use this on its own if I just want a quick coverage, but I actually like to use this over top of tinted moisturizer just to give a tiny bit more coverage. The last one I have in here is from Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder, and it is just a really great overall powder. It's the only pressed powder that I actually love. I don't know why I tend to always reach for loose powder for some reason, but this one is my favorite. It looks beautiful and airbrushed on your skin like the name says. Since I currently have lash extensions, I only use mascara on my bottom lashes, and the 2 mascaras that I have been using recently are from Burt's Bees and 100% Pure. So this is the Maracuja Oil Mascara. It's volumizing and it's colored from black tea leaves. Doesn't look clumpy. I really like this formula. And for the other one, the Nourishing Mascara from Burt's Bees is also a great one to use for your bottom lashes because I love the brush. I got my brows microbladed very recently and I love them so much. On a day where I'm literally just putting on a tiny bit of mascara or concealer, I'm not gonna do anything to my brows besides setting them in place with brow gel, but if I do have more makeup on, I like to fill them in a little bit. To do that, I really love the Urban Decay Brow Blade. This is a new product from them. One side has a like brush ink stain, so it kind of gives the appearance of microbladed brows, and the other side has a waterproof pencil. It's super skinny, so I just love this one, and they have a ton of shades to choose from. And the other one is from Anastasia. It's the Brow Wiz pencil. I really like these. I've been using them for a long time, so of course it's gonna be in my everyday makeup drawer. Like I mentioned, if I'm not going to be filling them in, I do like to set them in place anyways. You guys will probably already know that I love my Essence Lash and Brow Gel. I've been using this, I think, since I started my YouTube channel, and I've constantly repurchased it. And I recently discovered the e.l.f. Brow Mascara or Brow Gel. This is also a clear one. I don't have any complaints about this one either. The brush is so tiny, it's so cute, and it just works really well for setting your brows in place. My very last drawer is the biggest one in the organizer. It's where I like to keep my blushes, bronzers, and highlighters. I'll start with the blushes. So when I don't wear a lot of makeup, I usually use a cream blush because I think it looks super natural and really pretty. And one of my favorite cream blushes is from Glossier. This is the Cloud Paint Seamless Cheek Color. I love the shade Dusk. I also have 2 other ones, but this is just the one that I use like all the time. I also mentioned recently that I love the Burt's Bees All Aglow sticks. I have 2 blushes that I am obsessed with from that line, and they are Suez Sands and Peach Pond. One of them is more pinky and the other one is more of like a corally peach color. It just kind of depends what type of a look I'm going for, but I go back and forth between these 2 a lot. If I'm wearing a little bit of a higher coverage foundation that day, I usually go for a powder blush. The ones that I have been really liking recently are from the Becca, Chloe, and Malika BFFs palette. This one is the Chloe one, I think, and I love the 2 blush shades in here. I also use the bronzer as well as the highlighter, so this is kind of an all-in-one for that. It's just a super easy palette to reach for, but I love these shades. I think they are very pretty. The other bronzer that I love to use is from Physicians Formula. It's the Butter Bronzer. If you watch makeup tutorials on YouTube, then you probably have heard of this. It is a very buttery bronzer. It smells really good. This one is so perfect if you are super pale like me. They have darker ones as well, but I'm still using the lightest one because I am not tan yet whatsoever. I have 2 highlighters in here. The first one is from Essence. It's the Pure Nude Highlighter. It is my favorite highlighter for every day. It looks beautiful, super natural. It doesn't look chunky. It's super finely milled, so it is actually like very creamy when you blend it onto your skin. The other one that I really love, especially in the spring and summer, is from Becca. This is the Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop. Honestly, I can't say anything bad about it because it is just so pretty. It is another one of the like creamiest highlighters I've ever used, so I just really like this, especially when I want it to like pop a little bit more. Oh, and I also keep some lip products in here because I don't know where else that I would put them, so some of them are just glosses. I really love glosses for every day, and then I also have a shade from Urban Decay Vice Lipstick that I use all the time, and that is the shade Stark Naked. It is a really perfect everyday nude shade. It has a little bit of a pink tint, but it is also super neutral and nude. I also use the Burt's Bees gloss crayon in the shade Outback Oasis. I think I've mentioned this one a bunch too. This is one of my favorite things to use recently. It looks so natural on my lips and it goes with pretty much every makeup look. And then I also have two glosses. These are some of my favorites at the moment. One is from Bite Beauty. It's the French Press lip gloss in the shade Flat White. This is very nude. Sometimes I will use this over top of a lipstick if I just want it to be a little bit more toned down, but it also looks really good on its own because it's not like too opaque. And my last lip gloss that I have in here is another one that I like to use by itself because it is so pretty. I love sparkly lip glosses. This is from Too Faced. It's the High Shine Sparkling Lip Gloss in the shade Sunset Crush, and it is super glittery, but when it's on your lips, it just looks so nice. They actually smell really good too, and I do like to use this on top of other lipsticks, especially nude lipsticks. If I just want to like bump it up a little bit, I'll put a little bit on the center of my lips and it just looks like a nice highlight. So love using that one, and that is everything in my everyday makeup drawer. It definitely gives me a variety of makeup to use, but it all kind of delivers that same like fresh, dewy makeup look that's my favorite to do, especially in the spring. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet. And good luck to everybody who wants to enter to win the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded eyeshadow palette giveaway. It is such a great eyeshadow palette. So yeah, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!